we indicated that in this chapter we are also going to talk about the size of the typefaces. So font size, we're going to explain font size. Okay, so for font size property, it enables you to specify a size for the font or a size for the typeface. There are several ways to specify the size of a font. The most common ones are pixels. We spoke about pixels. Okay, we told you pixels are usually used because they allow web designers to be very very precise, okay, over what the over the size of what of their font. Okay, the number of pixels is followed by the letter px. So if I want 20 pixels, I'll say 20 px. 20 px. We can also specify font size by using percentages. Okay, the default size of text in a browser is what, 16 pixels. Okay, so a size of 75% would be equivalent to something like 12 pixels, and 200% font size would be equal to 32 pixels. So if you create a rule to make all the text inside a body element to be 75%, okay, that means we are using a what, 12 pixels size. Okay, and you can also specify another rule that indicates the content of the element inside the body. Element would be, let's say, 75%, which represent the 12 pixels. It will be also 9 pixels, that is 70% of the 12 pixels font size. We can also use ems. Ems simply means the width of the letter M. The width of the letter M. So if you check in my examples of typefaces, I was using a lot of M's in explaining the typefaces. Okay. Now I am going to explain the font sizes. So I'm going to use pixels. I'm also going to use percentage. I'm going to use the M's. So let me just comment out. Now you can realize that the entire body, I've given it a particular font family I want, and I said the font size should be what, the entire body should be what, 12 pixels, and my heading, level 1 heading should be 200%, and my level 2 heading should be what, 1.3 m. I told you the px stands for pixels, and the percentage sign of course goes for percentage, and the em goes for the amount or the weight of m's. Let me just save this and see how my page is gonna look like. Okay, you see, now it has even what, it has made the default font size to be what, 12. So if this is what you want, you specify it, and you want to specify a 200% for each one. Okay, you indicate that one as well. If you want it to be in pixels too, you can indicate that one to also be in pixels. Let me just increase the font size of my h1. It looks small for me. Let me just do a 300%, and let me just do a 1.5 m, and then the entirety, let me just do a 16 pixel. Let me just save this, Ctrl S. Let me refresh my browser. Okay, so it looks a little bigger, so we can actually use it to learn. This is my h1 now, this is my h2 now. Okay, and then another h2 is here. This is the default size. This used to be 12 initially, but now I've made it 16. Okay, so it depends on the amount we give a particular element, and then we can choose to give either in percentages, in pixels, or in the amount of m's or the width of m's.